the Geek Speak show at day number 1 of San Diego Comic-Con 2016. With me, Eisner-nominated author of Little Robot, Ben Hatke. Ben, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I'm great.
Yeah, we just started, but so far, what do you think of San Diego? Have you been there before?
This is my first San Diego
Your first
Comic-Con.
one?
This is my first one. I've been to a lot of the other cons. I've been to New York, but this is my first San Diego. And
This is the one everybody talks about.
Yeah, this is
what
the
do you think?
It's it's less overwhelming than I thought it was going to be.
I think
I had built it up. Well, I think I'd built it up in my mind to be this like crashing experience, but it's not that much bigger than New York yet. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So talk about the books that you have.
So I guess the one for this time is Little Robot.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very early reader comic. I kind of wanted it to fit in that space between silent comics and comics that are very verbose or full of dialogue.
Yeah.
My own daughters learned to read. My eldest daughter learned to read from like Calvin and Hobbes, which was really interesting to see because originally she would talk about the funny things that Calvin did, and then eventually the things that Calvin said, and we were like, oh, she's learning to read from these comics, and but I perceived this kind of gap there for the very early readers. People are just starting out on their reading journey, and so this is a very lightly. Texturally very light, but it's it's a full adventure story. So like a kid who's just starting out on the journey of reading can have this kind of longer form story that they can read. And it's also about summer and friendship and the things that pull that apart and the things that put it back together. And two very different, I don't know what you say, a robot and a girl become friends, and they're very, very different, and navigating that kind of friendship.
And going back on the point you were saying, that's actually one great thing about comics, graphic novels, is that it gets both sides, both the visual and also the brain,
language,
and get to read it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the age range you would say for your books?
Well, when you ask me that kind of question, I feel like I'm really serious about the idea of all ages.
Yeah.
So I'm writing for anybody who might want to pick it up. I'm trying to write something, or to write and draw a thing that everybody can enjoy, and I'm writing what I think is cool and what I like or would want to see. But, specifically, I don't know, 5 to 7 maybe? I don't know. That's hard question for me to answer in some ways. But the very young, and then...
well, I would say maybe it depends on the child, too, like how
totally
quick
depends
they
on
pick
the
things
child.
up.
And I get letters from parents with my Zeta series, which I think of as, 10, like 5th grade to like junior high, or 10 to 12, some kind of range. But I get letters all the time. My 5-year-old loves your Zeta stories.
Yeah.
So they scale pretty well, I feel like, some of these things.
When you decided to become a professional writer, did you always want to write for kids, or did you want to start off writing just whatever and then just turn to...
I don't know. I want to write everything. I want to write... I feel like I've focused a lot on middle grade. I focused a lot on early reading. But I feel like I'm like in my heart, I'm kind of all over the place of the people I want to talk to. I've got some adult stuff in my mind, So I really just want to tell as many stories as I can, really. So and anything I can, anytime I'm combining like words and pictures, I'm really fascinated by how words and pictures can work together and the different ways they work together. Because I'm doing picture books now as well as and starting in on a middle grade novel. So I was really kind of interested in this idea of the different ways that words and pictures can kind of interplay.
Yeah, not a show like San Diego Comic-Con or any con really.
Yeah.
You see, kids and adults who read, so that's not a problem there. But in this day and age, especially with this little video game where you go hunting for these creatures,
yes.
how do you write so that you can keep their attention to an audience that loves all the digital stuff? How do you write to get their attention back to books?
I have no idea. I really don't. No, I'm just trying to write the best books and the most visually appealing things that I can, and then I just hope that people pick them up. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how to deal with some of that stuff. The changing
honestly,
face
that's
of
one
media,
of the best answers I've had, because I've asked other authors that, and they all get into like a deep philosophical. This is why, but I like yours. I have no idea.
Just make the thing and share the thing.
Yeah,
that's all you can do. So,
yeah. But, I mean, and on the Geek Speak show, we have a weekly feature called the Book Club.
Okay.
Where we don't review the books, but we talk about the books that we're reading and why our audience will love them. And it's become one of the most popular features since I introduced it about 3 years ago. So people are still reading. I mean, and I get
it is true. Yeah. And like I visit a lot of school libraries and stuff, and I find that like the kids are really excited, and they're really excited in like programs where they get the book and they get to bring the book home. They still do read. It's not like I think like we have this perception that everybody's like glued to a device all the time, but I do run into kids who are just like crazy about comics and reading and books and all these things, and so it's not like it's dead.
Now for you, I asked this of when we talk to directors, and I guess it's a little different for them, but how everyone streams movies now instead of going to movie theaters. Now for you, if they're reading it on a tablet or whatever, is it the same as reading the book? Because at least they're reading?
I think that, in my experience, and I don't know exactly, even with my own books, I don't know exactly how this is going, but I feel like, especially for the picture books and for some of my like larger format comics, I think they're a little difficult. I don't think they translate that well yet. Digitally. So I think that, especially for picture books, I think the object itself is still kind of... I'm sure it's outperforming the digital copies that are going out. I'm sure there's more physical copies of my book than digital copies bought.
Yeah.
So I think there's a special, especially with picture books. Like you don't want to read Where the Wild Things Are on a tablet, or at least I don't. I want to thumb through it because there's an experience there that you get in that sense from the tactile experience. So because it's not like other ebooks and such are blocks of print, and that works really well. I mean, I have a Kindle. I think it's great. But there's something about a picture book, and I think comics too, that are very physical still.
Well, with comics, and I'm sure a lot of people out here would agree, it's the smell also, not just the feel. It's
I tell that story. Like that's one of the things that got me into, or that kind of stuck with me, and I think played into me becoming, or doing what I'm doing now. Is my mom used to bring me to the library even before I could read when I was just like a toddler. So I feel like my first positive experience with books was the smell, like wandering between the shelves and being like, this is what the library smells like. I loved it. So. Yeah,
it's kind of like Christmas,
it's like a Christmas smell, exactly. Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the library, it's books, the book smell.
Yeah, and they stick with you. It's a very powerful memory.
Yeah. Now, where can we follow you online, on whether it's social media or website?
Yeah, I'm active on Twitter. I'm at Ben Hatke, so my name, and I've got my website benhatke.com, and those are probably the two main web platforms. Got a Tumblr I post art on from time to time. The next book that's coming out in the fall is called Mighty Jack. It's a little, a slightly older story, but that one, as I was doing the original art for it, I actually live streamed a lot of the inking process, and people could ask questions as I was working. It was really fun. It's fun to share.
Yeah. I like that. You like doing the periscopes because I love the live interaction part of it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so I had some really good experiences with it. Not something I do for like every project. Yeah, surely, but it was fun to do for this one. Yeah.
Okay, so Ben Hatke here, the websites, we'll put them on the description and down at the bottom of the video. Ben, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, and keep enjoying your first San Diego Comic-Con.
I very much am.